Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar, and with me is Manoj Singh Rana with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs All India Chief Secretaries Conclave at Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh. Three-day national conference to conclude tomorrow. Special ASEAN-India Foreign Ministers meeting held in New Delhi to commemorate 30th anniversary of ASEAN-India dialogue relations. Prime Minister to be on two-day visit to Gujarat from tomorrow to inaugurate and lay foundation stone of various development projects worth 21,000 crore rupees. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh says security forces working in tandem in Jammu and Kashmir to eradicate terrorism. Also to visit Jammu to attend the 200th anniversary of Maharaja Gulab Singh's Rajyabhishek ceremony tomorrow. Government approves additional central assistance of over 1,043 crore rupees under the National Disasters Response Fund to Rajasthan and Nagaland. 47th meeting of GST Council to be held on the 28th and 29th of this month in Srinagar. National Institute of Open Schooling Institutes program to provide education to 10th class pass Agniveers. In Indonesia Open Badminton Tournament, HS Prannoy storms into the quarter-final round, beating Angus and Kalong. And in cricket, India to take on South Africa in the 4th T20 International at Saurashtra Cricket Association Stadium in Rajkot tomorrow evening. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is chairing the All India Chief Secretaries Conclave being organized by Niti Aayog at Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh. Before joining the conclave, the Prime Minister took part in a roadshow along with thousands of party workers. All India Chief Secretaries Conference will deliberate on the implementation of urban governance, crop diversification, new education policy, and self-reliance in agricultural commodities. The focus will be on rapid and sustainable economic growth in partnership with the centre and the states. In addition to the Chief Secretaries of the states and union territories, about 200 thematic experts from different fields are participating in this conference. Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba inaugurated the conference organized by Niti Aayog last evening at the indoor facility at Dharamshala HPCA Stadium. The three-day National Conference of Chief Secretaries of all states will conclude tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be on a two-day visit to Gujarat from tomorrow. On Saturday, he will inaugurate the redeveloped temple of Shri Kalika Mata at Pavagad Hill. It is one of the oldest temples in the area and attracts pilgrims in large numbers. Mr. Modi will also inaugurate and lay foundation stone of development projects worth 21,000 crore rupees. Mr. Modi will participate in Gujarat Gaurav Abhiyan at Vadodara. The Prime Minister will dedicate and lay the foundation stone of various railway projects worth over 16,000 crore rupees. These include dedication to the nation of 357 km long New Palanpur Madar section of dedicated freight corridor, gauge conversion of 166 km long Ahmedabad Botad section, and electrification of 81 km long Palanpur Meetha section, among others. He will also lay the foundation stone of redevelopment of Surat, Udna, Somnath and Sabarmati stations, along with foundation stone of other initiatives in the railway sector. These projects will help lower logistic costs and boost industry and agriculture sector in the region. The Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone of Gujarat Central University in Kundhela village of Dabhoi Taluka of Gujarat. With a focus on improving maternal and child health, Mr. Modi will launch Mukhyamantri Matru Shakti Yojana, which will have an outlay of 800 crore rupees. Under the scheme, pregnant women and lactating mothers will be given 2 kilograms of chickpeas, 1 kilogram of tur dal and 1 kilogram of edible oil free of cost from Anganwadi centers every month. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh said today that Pakistan is continuously trying to foment trouble in India, but our armed forces have been successfully thwarting its nefarious designs. Addressing Jawans in Baramulla cantonment on the first day of his visit to Jammu and Kashmir, Raksha Mantri said Pakistan has its policy of bleeding India with thousands of cuts, but our armed forces are the protective shield because of which they themselves get cut. He said the security forces are working in tandem in Jammu and Kashmir to eradicate terrorism.
पाकिस्तान बराबर लीड इंडिया विद थाउजेंड्स ऑफ कट्स के साथ हर समय यह कोशिश करता है कि भारत सदैव परेशान रहे, लेकिन आप सब इस देश की ऐसी फेंसिंग वायर हैं जिसके कट का प्रयास करने वाले खुद ही ब्रीडिंग के शिकार हो जाते हैं। आतंकवादी वारदातें भी पहले बड़ी संख्या में होती थी, लेकिन अब वह नाम मात्र रह गई हैं। उसका श्रेय भी यदि किसी को जाता है तो हमारे सेना के जवानों को जाता है, हमारे सीआरपीएफ बॉर्डर सिक्योरिटी फोर्स के जवानों को और जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस के जवानों को जाता है।
Raksha Mantri mentioned that India believes in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, saying India has never attacked or encroached upon any country. He said the nation is indebted to the services and sacrifices of our security forces for safeguarding our nation.
जिस देश की धरती से यहाँ के संत महात्माओं ने पूरे विश्व की धरा पर रहने वाले लोगों को अपने परिवार का सदस्य मानते हुए वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, द होल वर्ल्ड इज ए फैमिली, यह मैसेज सारी दुनिया को किसी देश की धरती से गया है तो केवल और केवल हमारे और आपके देश की धरती या भारत से गया है। स्वदेशो लोकत्रयम, यह हमारे देश के ऋषि और मनीषियों ने कहा है, यानी केवल धरती ही नहीं बल्कि तीनों लोग हमारे परिवार हैं। हमने न तो किसी के ताजमान पर कभी चोट पहुंचाने की कोशिश की है और न तो दुनिया के किसी देश की 1 इंच जमीन पर हमने कभी कब्जा करने की कोशिश की है।
Earlier, Mr. Rajnath Singh arrived in Srinagar for a 2-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir. He is travelling to the forward areas of Jammu and Kashmir to assess the overall security situation. Senior commanders of the army will brief him about the overall security situation in the hinterland as well as along the line of control. Mr. Singh will visit Jammu tomorrow to attend the 200th anniversary of Maharaja Gulab Singh's Rajabhishek ceremony.
The Union Government has approved an additional central assistance of over 1,043 crore rupees under the National Disaster Response Fund to Rajasthan and Nagaland, which were affected by drought during 2021-22. The high-level committee under the chairmanship of Home Minister Amit Shah has approved around 1,004 crore rupees for Rajasthan and over 39 crore rupees for Nagaland. This additional assistance is over and above the funds released by the centre to the states in the State Disaster Response Funds. The 47th meeting of the GST Council will be held on the 28th and the 29th of this month in Srinagar. The GST Council's last meeting, which was held in New Delhi, had recommended to defer the decision to change the rates on textiles. The GST Council had decided to retain the status quo on GST rate on textile at 5%. Deputy Governor of the Reserve Bank of India, M. Rajeshwar Rao, has said that an efficient and vibrant financial system is crucial for economic development and social well-being of the country. He further alluded to the geopolitical conflict that has drastically altered the global environment and the context in which the monetary policy operates. Mr. Rao was speaking as the chief guest in a banking conference organized by Indian Merchants Chamber in Mumbai on banking and finance sector in India today. The RBI Deputy Governor said Indian banks at present were at the forefront in supporting the economic recovery, and we have to collectively strive to be ahead of the curve in designing and nurturing a financial system that is robust and sustainable.
The special ASEAN-India Foreign Ministers meeting was held in New Delhi today to commemorate the 30th anniversary of ASEAN-India dialogue relations. The special ASEAN-India Foreign Ministers meeting was co-chaired by External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Singapore, Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan. The External Affairs Ministry said importance of India-ASEAN relations was underlined in the meetings as ASEAN plays an important role in India's Act East policy and its vision for a wider Indo-Pacific. Participating nations reaffirmed their commitment to further deepen this broad-based partnership to promote peace, stability and prosperity in the region. Deliberations were held on COVID-19 and health, trade and commerce, regional connectivity, education and capacity building, as well as implementation of ASEAN-India joint statement on cooperation on the ASEAN outlook on the Indo-Pacific. The ministers also exchanged views on important regional and international developments and post-pandemic economic recovery. The meeting unanimously adopted the co-chair's statement. The meeting was also attended by foreign ministers of Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam and representatives of foreign ministers from Laos PDR, Philippines and Thailand, along with Secretary General of ASEAN. The ministers reviewed the status of ASEAN-India partnership and set out the path for the coming decade. India and Japan today held a finance dialogue in New Delhi to exchange their views on the macroeconomic situation, financial system, financial digitalization, and investment environment in both the countries. Vice Minister of Finance for International Affairs of Japan, Masato Kanda, and Secretary of Department of Economic Affairs in the Ministry of Finance, Ajay Seth, led their sides in this first India-Japan finance dialogue. In view of the growing importance of India-Japan relations in recent years, the dialogue was upgraded to the level of Vice Minister and Secretary. During this bilateral dialogue, the participants confirmed that both sides will continue to work closely together as they hold the presidency of G20 and G7 next year. The participants, including private financial institutions, also discussed various financial regulations issues towards further expansion of investment in India. Both sides agreed to continue discussions for further promoting financial cooperation and strengthening bilateral relations and agreed to explore holding the next round of the dialogue in Tokyo.
Union Minister of Steel Ram Chandra Prasad Singh today visited the diamond cutting and polishing factory at Surat in Gujarat. He also visited the upcoming Surat Diamond Burst in Dream City, Surat. According to official sources, this upcoming diamond trading hub of India is spread across 35.54 acres of land. It will have 66 lakh square feet built-up area encompassing 4,200 offices for national and international diamond traders. This project is in its final stage of completion and will be inaugurated very soon. The National Institute of Open Schooling is instituting a special program in consultation with the defence authorities to provide opportunity for further education to those Agniveers who have passed Class 10s only. Under this program, these Agniveers can obtain a 12th class certificate by developing customized courses that are not only current but very relevant to their area of service. The certificate is recognized for both employment and higher education purposes in the whole country. This will benefit the Agniveers to gain adequate educational qualification and skills to take up productive role in society later in life. The Ministry of Finance today held a meeting with chief executives of public sector banks, public sector insurance companies and financial institutions in New Delhi to identify ways for supporting the Agniveers after completion of their tenure of duty in armed forces. During the meeting, it was decided that all these financial institutions would explore employment opportunities for Agniveers in suitable capacities based on their educational qualifications and skills through suitable benefits and relaxations.
The Director General of Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Arun Chawla, has said that Agnipath scheme is an innovative scheme which will strengthen the armed forces. Under the scheme, over 46,000 youth will be recruited this year. Talking exclusively to All India Radio News, Mr. Chawla said industries will get ready-made pool of highly skilled and disciplined manpower for their operation.
ये अग्निपथ स्कीम बहुत इनोवेटिव और अद्भुत स्कीम है। 40,000 यंग लोग इसमें बेनिफिट करेंगे हर साल और इस स्कीम के 3 डिस्टिंक्ट एडवांटेजेस हैं। सबसे पहला तो है इट विल स्ट्रेंथन द आर्म्ड फोर्सेस एज इट विल इन्फ्यूज यंग ब्लड इनटू द आर्म्ड फोर्सेस। सेकंड एडवांटेज ये है कि इट विल फ्लो टू द यंग पीपल हु विल गेट एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू सर्व द नेशन एंड आल्सो लर्न न्यू स्किल। तीसरा बेनिफिशियरी रहेगा इंडस्ट्री which will get ready-made pool of highly skilled and disciplined manpower for their operation.
In Jammu and Kashmir, the White Knight Corps of Army has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Centre for Social Responsibility and Leadership, CSRL, and Petronet LNG Limited, PLL, for a coaching project, Petronet Jammu Super 30, in order to enable the youth of remote areas to have quality education and realize their aspirations. Ministry of Rural Development has termed Gramin Udyamita Sansthan a fake organization which claimed to be under the aegis of ministry and was carrying out recruitment process for various posts in Uttarakhand, Punjab and Haryana.
More than 195 crore 81 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far. The Union Health Ministry said over 13 lakh vaccine doses were administered today. The ministry said more than 5 crore 59 lakh vaccine doses have been administered to the children in the age group of 12 to 14 years so far. over 4 precaution doses have been administered to the identified categories of beneficiaries, including healthcare workers, frontline workers and people above 18 years of age. You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs All India Chief Secretaries Conclave at Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh. 3-day national conference to conclude tomorrow. Special ASEAN-India Foreign Ministers meeting held in New Delhi to commemorate 30th anniversary of ASEAN-India dialogue relations. Prime Minister to be on 2-day visit to Gujarat from tomorrow to inaugurate and lay foundation stone of various development projects worth 21,000 crore rupees. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh says security forces working in tandem in Jammu and Kashmir to eradicate terrorism. Also to visit Jammu to attend the 200th anniversary of Maharaja Gulab Singh's Rajyabhishek ceremony tomorrow. Government approves additional central assistance of over 1,043 crore rupees under National Disaster Response Fund to Rajasthan and Nagaland. 47th meeting of GST Council to be held on 28th and 29th of this month in Srinagar. National Institute of Open Schooling institutes program to provide education to 10th pass class Agniveers. In Indonesia Open Badminton Tournament, HS Pranoy storms into quarter-final round, beating Angus Ng Kalong. And in cricket, India to take on South Africa in 4th T20 International at Saurashtra Cricket Association Stadium in Rajkot tomorrow evening. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता। बुकिंग
है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी, तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर, या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर, और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
Welcome back. You are tuned to the evening news on All India Radio. 75 sea beaches of the country are to be cleaned up to commemorate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The coastal cleanup drive will be carried out in the country for 75 days from the 3rd of July to 17th of September this year. The drive is aimed at removing 1,500 tons of garbage from the sea coasts. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh today chaired a meeting to preview preparations for International Coastal Cleanup Day 2022 in New Delhi. Speaking about this unique drive, Dr. Singh said it will be the first of its kind and longest running coastal cleanup campaign with the highest number of people participating in it. He said the participation of people is essential to convey the message of Swachh Sagar, Surakshit Sagar for the prosperity of the country. As part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and countdown events to International Day of Yoga, Minister of State for Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying, Dr. L. Murugan, will participate in yoga program along with dairy farmers at Kanyakumari tomorrow. The event will be held at the proposal of Ministry of Ayush as countdown to International Day of Yoga. Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying Ministry aims to bring more people into the fold of the activities of IDY 2022 for health and well-being by promoting milk and dairy products as a good source of vital essential nutrients.
In Jammu and Kashmir, Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha launched an online helicopter booking service portal for Sri Amarnath Ji Yatra today. Devotees can easily log on to the Shrine Board's website www.jksasb.nic.in for the booking of helicopter tickets for the Yatra. Dedicating new online service to the devotees of Sri Amarnathji, the Lieutenant Governor said it is a long-pending endeavour of the Union Territory Administration to introduce heli services from Srinagar for better connectivity and accessibility. He maintained that for the first time, devotees can travel with ease directly from Srinagar to Panchtarani and complete the yatra in a single day. This facility is also available for the devotees who want to travel only one way. The one-way tariff from Srinagar to Nilgrath shall be 11,700 rupees, Srinagar to Pahalgam 10,800 rupees, Nilgrath to Panchtarani 2,800 rupees and Pahalgam to Panchtarani 4,200 rupees. The portal was designed and developed by the National Informatics Centre State Unit of Uttarakhand. The Yatra 2022 shall commence on the 30th of June and culminate on the 11th of August. Expecting a heavy footfall of Yatris, the Sri Shrine Board has made adequate arrangements this year. In 2020 and 2021, no Yatra was held due to COVID. All India Radio, the largest radio network in the world, has again been voted as the most trusted electronic media organization in the country. According to a survey by the Reuters Institution in 46 countries, All India Radio and Doordarshan enjoy the highest trust. The survey of the Indian news brand by the Reuters Institute shows the authenticity and accuracy of news by All India Radio and DD News stand at 72% and 71% respectively. People from Udhampur, Hamirpur and Bandipura have welcomed the Digital News Report 2022 of the Reuters Institute, wherein both All India Radio and Doordarshan have been voted as the most trusted electronic media channels in the country.
Good evening, myself is Sudipto Chaudhary. I'm a resident of Calcutta and an avid listener of the news on All India Radio and Doordarshan. It is quite an amazing thing to understand that the Digital News Report 2022 of the Reuters Institute has found that people are still trusting at this time when there are several 24-hour television news channels.
Hi, I am Rahul Chaudhary. I am an IT professional. All India Radio News, as the most trusted news network of country, is very much missing in other private networks. So, congratulations to the whole All India Radio team.
Principal Director General of News Services Division of All India Radio, N. Venudhar Reddy, thanked all listeners for reposing faith in AIR News.
It is indeed a proud moment for all of us at All India Radio. It is a tribute to the present and previous officers and employees of All India Radio who strived hard to give credible news and information to the listeners. All India Radio does not sensationalize any news item and gives only factual information. During pandemic, AIR particularly worked hard to give authentic information to the people with the help of specialist doctors in various fields. On behalf of All India Radio, I humbly thank all our listeners for reposing trust in us. It makes us more responsible and reinforces our resolve to give credible news and information in the days to come and retain this trust.
The News Services Division of All India Radio in its daily program Spotlight today will broadcast a special program on the survey Akashvani Samachar Bharosa Lagatar. Stay tuned to FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards to listen to this special program. This will also be available on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official.
The 12-day-long joint military exercise between India and Bangladesh, Sampriti, culminated after a validation exercise at Jashore in Bangladesh. Chief of General Staff of Bangladesh Army, GOC 55 Division and GOC 20 Mountain Division of Indian Army were present during the closing ceremony. The joint military exercise, which started on the 5th of June, was focused on creating capabilities in humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, as well as counter-terrorism operations and the UN peacekeeping operations. Both the armies learned from the best practices of each other during the exercise. The joint exercise resulted in better understanding and enhancing interoperability between both the armies. The exercise between the armies of the two countries further strengthened the relationship between India and Bangladesh, said the Indian Army. India and Bangladesh have been conducting the bilateral exercise since 2010. In the Indonesian Open Badminton Tournament, India's H.S. Pranoy registered a straight-set win against Angus Ng Kalong of Hong Kong and stormed into the quarter-final round. He beat Angus Ng Kalong by 21-11, 21-18. Yesterday, Pranoy defeated Lakshya Sen in the opening match. In women's doubles, Indian duo of Ashwini Ponnappa and Sikki Reddy was defeated by China's top seed Sheng Qing Chen and Jia Yi Fan by 21-16, 21-13. In the men's draw, pair of Dhruv Kapila and MR Arjun was also outsmarted by China's unseeded Liu Yu Shen and Oh Kwon Yi by 19-21, 15-21. India's top shuttlers PV Sindhu, Lakshya Sen and Kidambi Shrikant exited in the first round.
In cricket, India will take on South Africa in the fourth T20 international of the ongoing five-match series at the Saurashtra Cricket Association Stadium in Rajkot tomorrow evening. The match will begin at 7 p.m. The hosts face another must-win situation with the visitors leading the series 2-1. After losing the first two games, the young Indian team made a strong comeback to win the third T20 international in Visakhapatnam on Tuesday. The hosts will look to make it all square ahead of the fifth and final T20 international in Bengaluru on Sunday. A report.
The surface at the Saurashtra Cricket Association Stadium is a batting friendly as the ball comes to the bat nicely. So it is anticipated to assist the batters hugely in both the innings and may lead to a high-scoring match. There is very little help on offer for the pacers early on and the spinners may come lethal in the middle overs. The team batting second has great records on this pitch. They have maintained a winning percentage of 60 on this ground. Therefore, the toss will play a vital role to decide the fate of the match. The men in blue will be aiming to continue the momentum of Visakhapatnam while the Proteas would be hoping to win another game to seal the series. So another exciting game between the two sides is on the cards. With Pratyush Ghosh's report, Renu Kataria, AIR News, Delhi.
The Sensex and the Nifty today plunged around 2%. Both indices declined amid mixed global cues. A report from the business desk.
The Sensex lost 1,046 points or 1.99% to finish at 51,496. The Nifty fell 332 points or 2.11% to end at 15,361. In the forex market, the rupee weakened marginally by 1 paisa against the US dollar. The rupee closed at 78 rupees and 8 paisa against the US currency. Gold prices rose marginally by 30 rupees at multi-commodity exchange for August contract. The precious metal was trading at 50,470 rupees per 10 gram and crude prices slipped more than 1.5%. In intraday trade, Brent crude was trading at around $116.70. Anubha Rohadki, AIR News.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi is expected to have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature will be 27 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 36 degrees. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with intermittent rain. The minimum temperature will be 24 degrees and the maximum will be around 31 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Temperature will hover between 27 and 37 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature will be around 28 degrees and the maximum will be around 33 degrees. Srinagar, Jammu and Muzaffarabad will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Leh and Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Visakhapatnam, Hyderabad, Bengaluru and Thiruvananthapuram will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And in the northeast, Guwahati, Imphal, Shillong, Itanagar, Aizawl and Kohima will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs All India Chief Secretaries Conclave at Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh. 3-day national conference to conclude tomorrow. Special ASEAN-India Foreign Ministers meeting held in New Delhi to commemorate 30th anniversary of ASEAN-India dialogue relations. Prime Minister to be on 2-day visit to Gujarat from tomorrow to inaugurate and lay foundation stone of various development projects worth 21,000 crore rupees. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh says security forces working in tandem in Jammu and Kashmir to eradicate terrorism, also to visit Jammu to attend the 200th anniversary of Maharaja Gulab Singh's Rajabhishek ceremony tomorrow. Government approves additional central assistance of over 1,043 crore rupees under National Disaster Response Fund to Rajasthan and Nagaland. 47th meeting of GST Council to be held on 28th and 29th of this month in Srinagar. National Institute of Open Schooling Institute's program to provide education to 10th class pass Agniveers. In Indonesia Open Badminton Tournament, HS Prannoy storms into the quarter-final round, beating Angus NG Kalong. And in cricket, India to take on South Africa in the 4th T20 at Saurashtra Cricket Stadium in Rajkot tomorrow evening. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.